Let's check in now on the situation in Tshwane. On Sunday, a booster station fed by Eskom experienced a total power supply failure. The outage subsequently affected the Vlakfontein water reservoir that supplies the city of Tshwane. Attempts to repair the transformer were unsuccessful, and as a result, the Mapleton booster station is at a pumping capacity of only 58%, we are told, or 430 milliliters a day, and it will remain so until repairs are complete. Well, let me take you to eNCA's Nqobile Madlala, who is on the ground tracking what those facts, statistics and figures mean for people who are living through all of this. Before we check in once again with what the various voices you've been hearing are telling you about the impact of the water situation, Nqobile, perhaps let's start with any updates coming through from either the City of Tshwane or Rand Water. Have we heard anything from these officials about restoration of normal water flow in Tshwane? Have we heard anything in the last while?
Well, tell us, besides from the fact that they're saying that they are working on it, we did hear from the City of Tshwane saying that they still are in contact with Eskom and Rand Water, and it looks like things are underway, and operations are underway. But they are basically still saying that there is no time reference, so they can't say that this will be fixed immediately, but they are saying that there is some work being done on the ground. In fact, we did also reach out to Ekurhuleni to find out, and from our understanding is that there is some work also being done at the moment. But Tilas, I just want to draw your attention to where we find ourselves right now. So behind me there's is a shop called Plantland. This is where people have been called in the city of Tshwane. They're saying that in Ward 101 there's been a message that was circulated saying that they must come here to get some water. Now we understand that they were going to send some of the tankers to come to this area to provide water for some of the residents that may not have water. Now, unfortunately, that hasn't been the case at this point. We know that we've spoken to some of the people that were coming in here, driving in and driving out, basically saying that the message was saying that they should be here at 10:30 and the tankers will be here at that time. But unfortunately, that hasn't occurred, and they've been coming back and forth and no answer. Now, we did try to reach out to Malcolm, who we understand is the councillor, city councillor in Ward 101, to basically find out what is going on, because they're saying that they got this message and it says that it's coming from him. We didn't, of course, find him on the phone, but the residents just frustrated. I mean, one of the gentlemen that we spoke to here was just really frustrated. He said he had been coming back and forth and there's no answer, and all they're hearing is that the tankers are not here. But we do understand that the shops, though, where we are, they are okay in terms of water. They're saying that they do have their own backup, so they are still sorted. But then there is that issue of if you have someone who's walking in who wants to buy, someone who might want to go to the restaurant, already the water is down, and in terms of using facilities, in terms of sanitation, that's becoming an issue now. So already the business is feeling the pinch, just like how we spoke to the lady much earlier on who was saying that as a startup, she's feeling the pinch at this moment because most of her meetings also had to be cancelled, and she found herself having to go to the gym in order to use their facilities and use the water because she didn't have any water, as well as having to buy water. So in essence, Tulas, what we're seeing on the ground is that people are frustrated, but interestingly, parts of Moreleta Park, some parts do have water while some parts don't have water. So you feel the frustration from those that don't have, but those that do are still quite confused, really, because we spoke to one of the gentlemen here as well to find out if they had water in an old age home in the area, and he was like, he didn't even hear that there was no water. So the communication also coming forward being the issue for some of the residents here, some saying they didn't know, just like the lady we spoke to earlier on, saying that she didn't know. She just found out in the morning that there was no water, and the communication that was there didn't really specify how long it's going to be. But we do know from the city that, of course, that cannot be given because they are still working on it and they are still communicating with regards to what is the way forward.
So impact on households and individuals, but also impact on businesses, as you rightly point out. We can only imagine businesses that depend on water flow, hair salons and car washes and the likes, restaurants, etc., that need water consistently. We can only imagine those that don't have a backup system. I also suppose then, Nqobile, that it's a measure of the desperation of the people there, that they keep coming back and forth to the center where you are, merely on the basis that they had been told that there would be water tankers that are stationed there, that are not there. Is there anything else that you are noticing on the streets around Moreleta Park or anywhere else in the city of Tshwane that suggests that authorities are seeing this as, urgent for people? Any movement of water tankers, any tanks that are stationed anywhere where you've been driving around that signal that at least there's an appreciation that people can't live without water?
Well, at this point, Tulas, I'd be lying if I said we bumped to any tankers. We haven't seen any, just like the people that are here coming back and just looking and checking if there is any tankers. We also haven't seen anything. In fact, as we waited here, some of the people that left had the hope that maybe if they leave and they come back again, they will find the tanker. But still, no tanker in sight where we are standing. And as well as we are driving around, we haven't seen any of that. And in fact, when we spoke to the city earlier on, there was no mention in terms of when they will be dispatching those tankers. But of course, we'll call them again to check in terms of whether or not they are looking into schedules. But just to take you back to us, we have seen this in the past when the likes of Mamelodi was worried also about the water shortage. There was quite an issue with regards to the tankers. In fact, when we spoke to some of those residents, they had said to us the issue was that even when they do come, they do not give everyone water, and that people struggled to still get water, whilst others would have a situation where the tanker would be too far. So I do hope that it's not the situation today, and that maybe the city does in fact have a plan and that they will be looking into it, because we do know that they did say that they are still speaking to Rand Water, even though when we reached out to Rand Water, also they felt like their hands were tied because in this case they needed power to pump the water, and therefore the power was the issue. They even went as far as, we were looking at the statements that says that the transformer was the major issue, and so Eskom needs to attend to that. So double blow really for the residents here. No water being an issue, but at the same time, having known that there was some load shedding, they're also assuming that that probably is the issue now with regards to the pressure at this point, because some of them were saying maybe that might be what has escalated the situation. But so far, as far as we know, the city is saying that it's something they're working on, but we haven't seen any tankers.
Yeah, all right, Nqobile, let's leave it there. It's one of those stories for me where, I'd love to be proven wrong, believing that there are no tankers anywhere, only for officials in the city of Tshwane to bombard you after this conversation, Nqobile, with a number of videos that are showing clearly where they've deployed these water tankers that show that they are a responsive government and appreciate the urgency of the water situation. Wouldn't it be nice if they proved me wrong and proved Nqobile wrong? We would gladly admit and show you and say, hey, we had not spotted these vehicles that are helping people out of a difficult situation, but actually they've been out there and the city has provided proof. Let's see if that happens.